We live. What up, y'all? What up, y'all? Y'all gonna be a fly on the wall for another episode of the People's Healing Hour on WHCR 90.3 FM radio. All right. Got some kind of cool topics today. Some heavy topics as well. But you know what we do. We know what we do on a Wednesday, a Wellness Wednesday. I got the one and only Jonas Jo Black with me in the building. That's a good question. I don't even know how it pops up. You can see it live. Oh, that's crazy. Third point, third person perspective. All right.
Now I can share this to everybody.
Soundboards. We're gonna do some training with you while we're here.
Okay, copy that.
I'm getting used to this. So the computer is right here. It's on move. But the computer is this. The wave part is this. This is the drops. Okay. We're not gonna leave that too much. We ain't got no commercials.
Copy.
You know what I'm saying?
But for the jokes and all that, we could definitely hit the drop.
Yes.
Okay, got you.
I gotta figure out how to add more drops because there's definitely some other things that we can add to it.
Okay. I'm just sending out a quick groups chat. People wanting me to remind me. Like, yo, come up. I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Yeah, last time we were talking tracks about it.
No, that hot sauce. How the audio sound to you?
Huh?
How the audio sound?
All right.
Last time you couldn't
hear nothing.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. This time we can hear something.
Absolutely. And I can still see your sound. Okay, you lit, ladies and gentlemen.
We live. Hey, music. All right, another Wellness Wednesday. We back at it.
Let's go.
Wake up, stretch out, it's a brand new day. Sun shining in, keep the blues at bay. Tune in at 7, feel the vibe get right. Danny's dropping knowledge, bringing wisdom to light. Herbs in the air, you can breathe in the flow. Your health is your wealth, let your spirit grow. From teas to the greens, he's got that remedy. Transforming lives, let's call it a symphony. Wellness Wednesdays, turn your mindset around. On WHCR, you hear the truth profound. Danny's got the secrets, gonna elevate your mood. Health is your wealth, feel the gratitude. Mind, body, soul, we're a trifecta. Danny breaks it down, always goes deeper. Nutrition tips, meditation, and breathe. Each week a new guest, inspiring finesse. Community focus, we rise together. Stay engaged, make moves like birds of a feather. Tune in, don't miss it, the vibe is so right. Elevate your game from morning to night. Wellness Wednesdays, turn your mindset around. On WHCR, hear the truth.
It's crazy how fast the hour be going.
So fast, right? The early bird gets the worm.
It's more than a show, it's a lifestyle. Real talk, real vibes, you'll be here for a while. Sipping on that herbal tea, feeling alive in the zone with Danny, where the good times thrive. Rise and shine, let's break down.
All right, Grand Rising. Welcome to another episode of the People's Healing Hour. I am your host, known in the streets and in the clinics as the People's Herbalist. And I'm excited because I got my main man with me again today. Jonas Jo Black Hammond is in the building.
Ladies and gentlemen, is the energy guy himself. Shout out to all my people uptown, downtown, in and out of town. I am here with the People's Herbalist. I am so excited. I'm so happy on this Wednesday morning, y'all. Shout out to Danny, y'all. We about to get into some nice conversation on some good things.
I love it, man. Thank you for joining me.
Absolutely.
It feels good. Like when you're on the radio and there's nobody else with you, you don't know who's listening, you don't know who you talking to. You just kind of talking to yourself. When you got somebody with you, it feels a lot better. So they say when you're on the radio, just imagine you're talking to like 10 people. That's it, because you don't know. There's probably hundreds of people listening, but we don't even know.
Right.
Right? We can't see their reactions, but we hear vibing, and that's the beauty, man. And it's been 10 years. 10 years of the People's Herbalist.
Wow, 10 years that fast.
That fast, man. It's been a decade long, and all year, honestly, I'm celebrating 10 years in business, bringing the herbal sciences to the people, bringing remedies and hope and healing to our communities. And yeah, man, it didn't start as a business. It started just as a mindset, as a movement, as something that could be positive for our communities. And started with a vision. It started with a vision. And the crazy thing is, like, the brand now is the People's Herbalist, but it started as Movers. That was the origin. Movers is acronym for making our vision everyone's reality. Movers Elixir. That was the first product we made. That was the first brand that was created. And this was something that the name came up when I was in college. So back in Rutgers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Shout out to the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. My fraternity, our house, it wasn't technically a frat house, but it was a house we were renting and all of our frat was in it.
Copy. I mean,
that's what it is. I came up with the acronym there because we were doing some incredible things while we were in school, but I knew that there was visions that we had to bring to fruition. There was a mission about it. And surrounding myself with people that can take visions and ideas and turn them into real things has always been a special part of life.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's why we friends.
Absolutely.
Because you were able to do the same thing.
Talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? You had this idea, you had cameras, you say, I want to extrapolate this. We did it to the maximum. My boy's behind the movie screen.
Talk about it.
You know what I'm saying?
Did I even think the vision was going to grow into this? But God blesses the man that puts forth work. When you get past fear, on the other side of fear is everything that we want. And I feel like sometimes like we hold back because we feel like we're not good enough. But the higher power is like, what? I'm trying to show out on my power. So if you don't step forward, you can't show how I could shine at the same time. So yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to be in the clubs taking pictures of celebrities. I'm on set with Steven Spielberg and Spike Lee. Big names. Sojourner Weaver. I was able to watch her in the films. It was like a work of art to see professionalism at its highest form. Production.
Man, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? When you can be able to do that, to be able to do what you love and at the highest level, is something that not everybody gets the opportunity to do. But this is inspiration for you to never give up on your dreams. You were given a dream, you were given a vision, you were given some energy to make that happen. And not just for you, like we said. It's God's plan. You know what I'm saying? God did.
God did. I just seen DJ Khaled had this cut that is going viral right now. He's like, can you believe that there's people that didn't believe in us? Can you believe that? He puts on his glasses, takes a sip. Can you believe there's people that didn't believe in us? But God did.
God did.
You know how powerful that is?
It really is. It really is. So, you're waking up this morning on the People's Healing Hour. Remember, you got up for a reason. Don't ever forget that. You know what I'm saying? We like to talk about holistic health and healing and our human capacities on this show. But your mindset, your faith, the energy that goes behind every day and all the actions that you're making is just as important. In fact, it's the vital piece, that energetic spark to give you all the healing that you need, all the activities that are positive to snowball into the health and the life that you want. It starts with mindset. It starts with faith. You gotta have faith in something. All right. We're not gonna sit here and tell you what religion to believe in. what God to praise, how to do your thing. You know, because we respect all the people. It's the beauty of this nation, right? You have the ability to go in and pursue your faith however you want to, but faith has to be at the bottom of your actions if you really want to bring all the beauty into this world. 100%. You know? So yeah, man, back in this 10 years, man. And shout out to WHCR 90.3 FM radio for 40 years on the radio, bringing the voice of Harlem directly to the people.
Yo, give us some sound for that.
Yeah, they need that. They need that one time for the one time. 40 years serving the community of Harlem right here at City College. And, you know, we like to highlight the people. This is the voice of Harlem. So the phone lines are open for the people to call.
Yes.
The phone number is 212-650-6903. If you want to do a birthday shout out to somebody that you love, if you want to make a prayer request, we open for that. If you just want to hear your voice on the radio, you can call in. We're gonna give you some love. We're gonna give you some shine real
Let's
quick.
go.
You know, and I appreciate everybody who be up listening to us in this morning. Y'all could be anywhere in the world. Y'all could be doom scrolling. Y'all could be, you know, watching Netflix. But y'all here with us early in the morning. It feels good to be able to come out here and drop some knowledge and some information and hopefully some inspiration for the people, Harlem and beyond, because we do stream this live on YouTube and we'll be having some cuts on Instagram, all that. But this is about the radio and about the people in this Harlem area, how we can be of benefit and provide all the good things in life that you need to hear these mornings when you're waking up, getting ready for work, etc. But man, speaking of work, I'm just reminiscing over these last 10 years. You know, my last job, I used to live in Long Island, had a daycare out there with Alexia, my wife, and we did that for 8 years. And it was a beautiful experience to be able to help cultivate the minds of the future, the children, teaching them respect, teaching them honesty, teaching them, you know, their self worth, how to be good stewards in their community. But I also had the privilege of working at a place called Cerebral Palsy in Nassau, which is a facility that had a day rehab and they had a school for kids with different developmental disabilities, but it was mainly for the adults. So Cerebral Palsy in Nassau happened to be my last job, which was one of the most fulfilling jobs. However, while I was working there, I was also building the People's Herbalist, building the brand of products, and the the staff and some of our key workers at Cerebral Palsy happened to be my case studies.
Oh wow!
Right, so they knew that I was into herbs, and a lot of people like, oh, Danny will come to my office like, Danny, I'm not feeling, I got a sore throat, I'm not feeling good, my stomach is hurting. I was like, look, I got some herbs. So I at least have a little stash of herbs in there. So I give people some herbs. They come back a couple hours later. Oh my God, yo, I think my voice feels so much better. My throat is feeling better.
Wow.
So that gave me a lot of confidence to see in real time. I wasn't doing it on purpose to build the brand. I was just doing it to help the people that I was working with. But then being able to see how effective it was in real people, real time, while I'm working, you know, my 9 to 5, I was like, yo, this gives me a lot more confidence to, you know, talk about this stuff through the social media networks and having conversations with people because I can see it. I watch people with severe allergies improve. I watch people obviously with some acute throat infections. Watch people with digestive discomfort. Watch people with insomnia. Wow. So that was real time. Got to see that. It was cool, and that gave me the confidence to continue to build upon this. And you know, COVID came around, and once COVID hit, man, it was y'all remember. Y'all remember how crazy that was. Severe fear, a lot of illness, depression,
Isolation.
solitary living. It just wasn't conducive to health and healing. They were telling people y'all can't go to the parks. They were taking the basketball rims down from the courts so people don't be outside. They closed the beaches. Like they did everything opposite of what healthy life is. And they didn't give any hope. And that is why I decided to really share on my first Instagram platform of the journey. You know, I was like, yo, these are case studies. We're using herbs like astragalus and traditional Chinese herb like reishi and goji berries to see if they can be beneficial for people that either have COVID or are surrounded by people with COVID, like the nurses that are working in the hospitals. And I did this, and the feedback that I got was mind blowing, and it led me to a crazy conclusion. And every time I say this to somebody, especially somebody that worked in the hospitals, they cringe and they get upset. And also when people that have gotten ill. But this was the easiest illness to recover from or prevent with herbs. Wow. It's like that. And this was, at the same time, it was such a devastating wave amongst our population, especially in New York. But I'm seeing 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds with COPD, with several different previous health issues that, according to what the news was saying, they were done. They were supposed to die. They were supposed to, not even, they didn't have any tests at that time. Remember, they was kind of just saying, hope for the best. If you're really sick, then go to the hospital, and then they just threw you on a ventilator. That was
who had COVID prior to.
Exactly. Yes. And it was just a bad circle of things happening all at the same time. But I was able to see, my experience was these herbs were helping people fast and recovering, and they're not needing to go to the hospital. And I shared that. I was like, all right, this lady, she lives in Freeport, New York. I just dropped off some herbs to her. Her daughter called me and was distraught, thinking that her mother was gonna die. And I brought them herbs, and the next day she called me and told me her mother's cough is gone and she has a lot more energy, and they're not afraid. They're not taking her to the hospital. And I heard that so many different times. It led me to the conclusion that these herbs are definitely helping in some manner, some shape, some fashion, in some form. And for sharing that preliminarily, before any large scale data research was done, Instagram deleted my page. I lost all of the case study information. I couldn't recover the page. I was so mad because I didn't just have, the case study research. I had life things that I had documented, photos, and I learned quickly that you cannot trust the social medias because you don't own anything. That's not yours. You're allowing them to showcase this stuff on your behalf, but you got to back up everything, put it on your own website, put it on your own server, have it stored for yourself. That's a lesson that I had to learn the hard way. But yeah, man, this is a crazy time. It was a crazy time, but it was a beautiful journey of learning and exploration and understanding that these sit and wait until they beautiful thing I can say on this radio. We are not sponsored by Pfizer. We ain't got no commercials, no ads. We just here vibing,
wow,
talking to y'all, right? So WHCR 90.3 FM radio, the voice of Harlem. We are here, folks. 40 years on the radio.
Party in the whole universe. The voice of Harlem.
Yeah, man. So back into it. I'm with my man Jonas Jo Black Hammond on the voice of Harlem, and we just discussing what was happening, how we got here. 10 years of the people's herbalist, and the crazy thing is, Jonas done termed that name for me many years ago when we had began. It was movers, and we had the tagline of "I got the juice."
Right.
Remember, I got the juice.
That. I like that. I still have that shirt till today. We gotta create some. I feel like we need to do some merch. I feel like I want to add something to your company. Add some of my artistic views to your shirt.
Yeah, we gotta add
to
more.
the clothing line. Absolutely.
So this Saturday we have an event in Ridgefield, New Jersey at Him and Honey. This is the commemoration of 10 years in business, a celebration of sorts. We're going to be showcasing all of our different items from the multivitamin elixir, from the hibiscus bliss mocktail mix, from the herbal hot sauce, from all of the good things, meals, our hot teas. We got a lot of SKUs now. After 10 years, we've been building, we've been
Absolutely.
growing and making new things and items that are delicious for the folks.
Absolutely. I've been a fan of probably every product you've ever made. Unbiased too. Just unfortunately, fortunately, every time I taste one of your products, it's just like, damn, this year. Shout out to Danny. Shout out to Movers Elixirs. 10 years in the business, man. Yeah, let me ask you something.
Sure.
In the beginning, did you want to give up when they took away your page and they was giving all that pushback, or was the vision strong enough to the point where nothing was ever going to stop you?
I had a second where I had to take a break because at this point I had my page for a couple of years and we were up to 14,000 followers. I want to say maybe 15,000 followers. And to lose it all instantly with no warning, I definitely was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just trying to share knowledge, and they just removing my page and all the information and data that I have. I knew that I was gonna continue to go. I took a beat. I took a beat, but I was like, I can't stop. I can't stop because I've come too far. I've seen too much, and to see adversaries trying to take this away, then that means I'm really doing something to threaten the status quo, the natural order of things, as they would say in the
I
villain
like how
world.
you put that. So that's good to know. I think it's important, that people get an understanding that nothing is as easy. Nothing you want is going to be easy. Sometimes you're going to run into some walls. Sometimes you have to take a step back, but that's part of the dance. I seen something earlier this morning during my manifestation hour that popped up and I said, I realized that part of the journey was, or rather, I realized part of the dance of life is taking a few steps back before you go forward. And with that, you have rhythm. And with rhythm, you get things like things flow, frequency, energy. In that way, when your frequency is off, you don't have no rhythm. Your energy is flowing in a way that's not conducive to us moving and flowing. So, yeah, absolutely. I think it's good. It's good that we go through problems. It's good that you went through rock bottom. I would say, quote unquote, to the point where it pushed you to where we are today. Because who knows? I may not be able to speak on this radio today had you given up.
That's very valid. That's very valid. Never give up. I like that. The steps of the dance of life. Sometimes you got to do a back step, a little salsa,
I'm trying to tell
a
you.
little, a
A
little
little one,
merengue.
too.
Shout to the Dominicans, man.
But as long as you get yourself up and keep going, and look, it's so funny because part of your product is to help people keep going. Right? Your product is to help us function daily, mentally, through all the stress and all the problems. So the irony is, had you given up, that means your product would lose its value. But because you didn't, it gains that much more value.
That's valid. Time and effort and energy that you put into something, that's where the true value lies, right? The most
100%.
the most valuable commodity is time, and the more time you put into something, the more valuable it becomes. Like antiques, you put that even when you cook. The longer you cook the food, the more flavorful, the more tender, the more delicious it is. So man, it's definitely been a beautiful journey coming from shoot making little elixirs. That's what we had. I used to have the kids help me with making these elixirs. It was like, all right, come on. They're teaching them different things, measuring and making them squeeze the juices, the lime juice, an example. And I would teach them about some of the herbs while I was making them at the same time. So they kind of understood the process. And yeah, it was a beautiful thing because they would write these little notes and to the customers, they'd be like, "Oh, we hope you feel better." Because I would tell them like, "We're making this for somebody who had injured their knee, for example." So we would put some sea moss in there, and it was like, "Oh," then they would write a little letter, and they little crooked handwriting, but it was so authentic. Yes. So the people would receive the package and they open it up and they see a note from a little kid that they don't know, but they wishing them better, and then they got the herbal beverage on top of that. Man, that shit was cool. That was so cool. Wow. And I know they remember. I know, my kids now, I say my kids, right? My kids, I used to have my youngest one, I should say the oldest one I had her since she was 3. She's turned 16. Yes, yep. Angelina, if you can hear this, I miss you, dear. I hope you're doing well out there in Long Island. Yeah, man, I think we might have had 80 kids come in and out of our daycare during that tenure. Yeah, and then had the opportunity to let them see some things behind the scenes. So I know that kind of inspired some of their wants and desires down the line. So I think that makes me feel good because you incorporated all the things, healing and teaching and inspiring for the next generation. Because we talk about that all the time. That is our greatest value is giving it back to the youth, which is going to impact the future. There was we got to do a shout out. It was what's her name? Kelly, right?
Okay, Kelly Snyder.
Kelly Snyder and Shaniqua, Shakira, and Chase.
Chase Madison.
And Chase. We're gonna get y'all up on this radio show because I know y'all doing some great things for the youth as well out here in Harlem. So I had to give y'all a little shout out on that front. But yeah, man, this is a beautiful thing, a beautiful thing, a beautiful thing to be able to manifest the future that we see and bring it to fruition. That's the beauty here. So let me drop this real quick.
What you said?
I said, "Well, close this door."
Okay. Commercial break real quick, ladies and gentlemen.
This is your Mom Milton. Milton.
Judicial systems and politicians, the wicked. Prey on the innocent, poverty like conditions. Popular protocol, populate compositions. Your whole existence is probably out the picture. They out to get you. Foreign DNA and mixture. Never thought I'd be touring CLA with these lectures. Made the elixir for the people to paint a picture. Clear as day in their brain. We created the scriptures. Genesis, Deuteronomy, hook around me on the subject. Keeping the eye on me, whole society know what's up next. My sobriety flows entirely for the upset. Suppression the truth. Back in the booth. School of coons in the coop. Take them back to the roots. I'm a star like a monologue, not your poop. Coming hard, you should know the dog hiding you. Couple rappers in the game that I'm trying to chew. Couple countries on the plane that I'm trying to view. I'm divine, you divine what you trying to do. From my mind to your mind, it's a line of cool. Cause every line is a sign, just combine the two. And you manifest.
Okay.
Every heart is
Crazy.
I feel like I just manifested something real quick. Just listening to this.
Every heart beats our
I'm gonna have to add this to my morning regimen right here.
The generation of change, no longer we see meditation is strange. Maybe in different lanes, but the destination the same. Future seeing the wave, you have it late in the game. Gotta deal with the pain, repeating it is the same. Who protecting the culture? Who deflecting the vulture from scooping up all the folks up? Who you respect the most, influenced by and promote? Cause few of our role models moving is still a spoke of. For you, there's no love. Black civil rights movement got you confused with the rules and illuminated like who's related to who. Since the age of 2, made it fool what they say in the school. Don't pertain to you, taint the truth, they playing it cool. Since the age of the news, we've been making the news. Crooked cops running blocks now, spraying your boo. When the semi on their Glock now, aiming at you. When it pops, bullets you not gonna be able to chew. May you manifest every heart's desire. Hey,
Okay, let's go.
may you manifest every heart's desire. Hey, hey.
Man, shout to Jamar Milton, the
Yeah.
Long Island GOAT of rap.
No, I'm feeling that.
I'm telling you, man. You know the beautiful thing about Jamar Milton, he is the epitome of manifestation, right?
Talk about it.
I met him 3 separate times, 3 separate occasions. First time, it was an event in Long Island where Riza Islam, Dr. Umar, brother Ben X,
A lot of black
a
energy.
lot of intellectual black energy, strong minds, and it was a community circle. He was on the panel. I was like, yo, all these minds, all these men that's doing incredible things. So that's the first time I had met him. Second time I had met him, I was just walking down the street and just bumped into him. Like, yo, I seen you from the event. I was like, yeah, whatever, blah, blah. Realized he lived right around the corner from me in Long Island.
Amazing.
Yep. Then we bumped into each other one more time. He said, yo, look, I work on 3s and 9s. When I meet somebody 3 times randomly, I know that we supposed to be connected. And he hit me with some numerology I wasn't even ready for. I was like, oh, yeah, facts. So we exchanged numbers, and now that's my man's.
Amazing.
And I was like, yo, and I got to listen to his music. I'm like, yo, nah, you are a legit dope artist. So shout out to Jamar Milton from Roosevelt, Long Island. I think he done moved up now. He got a crib out there in Freeport. I see you, man. You gonna put the business
Shout out to
there,
Jamal, baby.
You know what I mean? You did it, man. You definitely are an example of manifestation, and you got a beautiful song, beautiful track, beautiful energy. And it's an old school vibe, and it's not bang, 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 shoot 'em up. Like, it's conscious, but it's still, you know what I'm saying?
Is
good
that
music.
what you need? It's what you need to hear. That vibrations is what I needed right now.
You know what I mean?
May you manifest. Let me stop. Well, let me not, but yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean? 90.3 FM radio, WHCR, the voice of Harlem. The People's Herbalist and Jonas Jo Black Hammond out here just spreading vibes. Y'all was just listening to Jamar Milton. The song is Manifest. Y'all can download that or y'all can play it on YouTube. Either way, y'all want to get this good vibe music on your playlist. It's important, man. What you put into your ears every day is just as important as what you put into your mouth.
Talk about it.
All right, this is consumption, is energy. You are absorbing everything that's around you. So that's my little 2 cent on your consumption, right? They say your diet, what you eat, and you just think about food, but it's also what you drink for sure, or what you hear, what you smell, what you are absorbing. Very important, all across the board. All across the board. Yo, Jonas, I heard something crazy.
What you heard? Oh, baby.
I heard something crazy the other day. They said for the first time in 50 years, New York has said it is safe to eat fish out of the Hudson River.
I would never.
Never.
What they talk about is safe.
They said it's safe.
These guys just dropped biochemical hazards in the Hudson a couple of months ago. They got approved. Dumping off. The people in Harlem and New Jersey, between the two of them, I would never. If I jump into that water, I won't survive. The chemicals that we can smell from that water.
The crazy thing is, I've been seeing people fishing in there before this announcement was made. So nobody got the memo that they wasn't supposed to be fishing in the Hudson. I'm praying they were just doing it for sport and they weren't trying to take nothing home to cook and eat. But I know somebody has seen somebody fishing off one of these piers, either in Harlem, either in Jersey on the Edgewater side. I've seen a couple people fishing.
The entire West Side Highway, you will find people fishing in the Hudson, the heavy Hudson, by choice, not by force, because you can go to Chinatown and get fresh fish.
But yeah, but I don't. I'm just praying that people ain't eating fish out the Hudson. I don't care what y'all talking about on the news, what announcement has been made, what the EPA is saying at this point. We all know.
What makes it safe?
But what made it unsafe? And what has been taken away so now it's safe again?
What happened?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
we got questions, y'all.
All you got to do is look at it. You know, it's not just, it's brackish water. Yeah, there's a combination of fresh water, seawater, it turns brown or whatever. But then there's film and colors and bubbles and foams. And y'all know there's chemicals all up in there. They was dropping stuff in that water, man.
What kind of fish is in that water?
Three-eyed fish. But yeah, man, please take this advice. Don't go and eating fish out the Hudson. I don't think that's a good idea for you. But man, if you've seen somebody fishing in the Hudson, call me 212-650-6903, man. Y'all can call in and tap in with us and let your voice be heard on the Voice of Harlem, WHCR 90.3 FM radio. Man, it's crazy.
I need more case studies. Eat the fish. I want to see what's going on.
Let's see who's going to take that.
I want to see if there's going to be some type of super mutant human that comes out of that fish.
You get stronger.
He could be like the guy in Wakanda 2 with the wings on his.
He breathing underwater.
Breathing underwater.
You become one with the fish.
I'm trying to tell you, that's what I'm looking for. And then I will go fish. I'll fish every day, just so I can get some superpowers, man.
Yeah, man. I think they setting this up, man, so people can get more sick, so they can come up with more medications to give new different diseases. This is what they do. It's what they do well. I'm saying they is the pharmaceutical overlords.
Gotta do lunch. McDonald's is killing. KFC is killing the game. Wendy's is killing the game. Fast food is on every corner right now. I never. Growing up in New York City, fast food used to be a privilege. Like, oh, going to McDonald's. All right, you lucky if you had a McDonald's around you. You know what I'm saying? As a kid, you look for that. You know. Now, it's so many fast food restaurants on one block. I can't even believe it. I used to only call certain fast food restaurants like drive-through type of environments. Drive-through restaurants because they were so big. They had their own land. There was always drive-through, but now they done got smaller sizes. You got Buffalo Wild Wings to go. One of my spots that I creep to, and I'm trying not to be too healthy. But they all there talking to me every day. I walk home, I'm smelling it. It's already a setup environment. It is. You gotta go back into the wilderness.
They make all the unhealthy food more cost effective, and then they jack them up with all the flavor chemicals. You become addicted. You want more, and more. And it's set by design. They got food scientists filling the foods with all kinds of different chemicals that, create dopamine responses like crack. And they turn people into food addicts. And that's probably the biggest issue within the country. It's like addiction to food and flavoring and the deliciousness with high calories and low nutrient value. And we overconsume. And we're stuck in a terrible place. And then, I used to say I had a large distrust and honestly just a very minimal hatred for the medical system and the fact that they just throwing medications and drugs, the arrogance of the doctors. But I've matured. I've understood that they have a place in a perspective that is much different than everybody else. They dedicated oftentimes 15, 20 years to their craft, and what they see especially if they work in the hospital, all they're seeing is sickness and illness and death and all the worst things that we don't want to see or hear about or we mourn when we are experiencing it. They see it every day. So that's trauma. It's like being in a war zone, truly and honestly. So their fear factor for certain things is really high. Like all they see is death. So all they are expecting to see is death. So they assume that if they don't give drugs, then people are going to die. But there's also other ways for us to take our health into our own hands, and that's consuming herbs in a way that is habitual on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You can cut down some of the fast food. You can eat something healthy. You can cut down on some of the soda. You can drink something herbal and delicious at the same time. So there's definitely a lot of other alternatives for people to get into. And on that note, before we go into the next topic, I do want to talk about a topic that's real and pretty scary, but also one of the reasons why I have a distrust for modern medicine. And not all doctors are bad, so please don't misconstrue what I am saying here. There's a term called iatrogenesis. Have you ever heard this before? Iatrogenesis. This is a term that means illness, sickness, injury, or death caused directly from a medical intervention.
Oh wow.
So you go to the hospital, and I'm not talking about medical malpractice.
I was just about to ask you.
That's not in this category. Medical malpractice is a whole other category. Iatrogenesis is you were giving the right medicine based on your assumption of disease.
Your diagnosis.
They gave you the right medicine, and that medicine ended up hurting you, killing you, or that surgery ended up hurting you or killing you because of complications or just overall bad reaction to it. And iatrogenesis or iatrogenic death, according to the researchers at Johns Hopkins University, estimated over 250,000 deaths per year tied to this. I mean, it's medical error, but it's not malpractice. Like they were doing the right thing, but people died from it. Taking medications, there's a lot of warnings. We hear these commercials on CNN or ABC, or they'll tell you very fast, like, oh, side effects might include
it will kill you. It will kill us.
Right. That's not just to say it. That actually happens. And yeah, the assumption is over 250,000 deaths. That's the middle of the road assumption too. If you ask the doctors in the healthcare professions, they'll say the numbers are a lot lower than that. They're, exaggerating it. But if you ask other people, they'll say they're underestimating it. So we're saying 250 as the middle ground. Some people assume closer to 400,000. Some people could assume closer to 100,000. But the truth is, medications do have side effects, and those side effects can lead to death in a lot of instances. So let that sit for a second.
So pretty much a few words will make or break your case in these situations to say how serious your condition was, to take blame or not to take blame. And these doctors pretty much base their assumptions, and I'm asking, they pretty much base their assumptions on what they study and what they know, and that's what they classify, and that's what they go with wholeheartedly to say, like, it's less than 250 based on these things.
Right. They will say, in this conversation, it doesn't even happen a lot with doctors. I know this is something that they don't want to hear because it's kind of a kick in the balls. Like they have the intention of helping heal people, helping people get better, and to be faced with a reality like, yo, my what I'm practicing actually leads to death. It's like, that don't sit right with them. And then also, you come with the other side of the conversation is, well, we're saving more lives than we're killing. So that's also at the same time, you got to give the credit where credit's due, right? The medical system in America, you can go to the hospital, you get shot, and they will have to care for you. They'll figure out the rest later, but they will broken bones, car accidents, they will put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And they do it very well here in the United States. Can't say it's the best in the world, but I can definitely tell you that is better than a lot of other places.
For sure.
So, we give credit to where credit's due, but also recognize some of the flaws and the drawbacks when it comes to chronic health issues, which most people are dealing with based on what they're consuming on a day-to-day basis. And emergency medical care, when your toxic load is at its max, they might save you for a little bit, but you got to fix it yourself with herbs, with breathing exercises, with being in nature, with having good music and good vibes around you, and actively moving your body. Trying to build upon your vessel is crucial and critical for us to be healthy. Relying on the medical system as soon as you feel a sniffle, that is bad news. There's a negative correlation of going to the doctors and the hospitals consistently and your overall health, because hospitals are a place of sickness and death, truth, truthfully and honestly. But there's also, we got the nurses and the staff in the hospitals that are doing everything in their power to make sure people come back to life. So I always say shout out to the nurses. I remember the nursing strike was happening for quite a while. I think it's pretty much resolved now. I did remember driving by Presbyterian and Mount Sinai, seeing them out there. So shout out to y'all nurses for doing your thing and holding the picket line and demanding the resources that are necessary for you guys. But it's hard out there. It's hard out there. So I want to say this to all of my herbalists and holistic enthusiasts and the critics of our medical system. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
That's a fact.
It is set up in a way that a lot of doctors and healthcare professionals are hamstrung. They got their hands tied behind their back in certain instances, and they have to follow the standard of care. Oftentimes, the standard of care is not in your best interest, but if they go against the standard of care, then they're open up to liability. They can get sued, they can lose their license, the whole life can go down the drain. So, I just want to give you all that insight, because that's what I've learned over these years, and I went from being very dismissive and critical and having bad words and bad energy towards the healthcare professionals to now respecting what they do and understanding their plight and what they are able to do within the system that is innately corrupt on many different levels. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. Being part of the solution. Let's go.
Being part of the solution. And, we're celebrating 10 years of the People's Herbalist on WHCR 90.3 FM radio, the voice of Harlem. We are also celebrating 40 years that WHCR has been on the radio for the people. And at the end of this month, April 30th, from 7 to 9 p.m., April 30th, from 7 to 9 p.m., International Jazz Day at Aaron Davis Hall. Y'all can go get your tickets. Show up. Come through. It's right off Convent in Harlem. Aaron Davis Hall, a jazz music fest evening, that a great date night, but just a great vibe in general, because you're going to see some classic jazz professionals, from Mimi Jones, Louis Perdomo, Bobby Sanabria Trio, Allison Williams, Orrin Evans Trio. There's a lot of incredible musicians that's going to be there. And you can get your tickets on WHCR.org. I highly suggest you do. This is our fundraiser for being commercial free, not sponsored by Pfizer or any of these corporate overlords, and being the voice of Harlem. So y'all can show up, show out, get your tickets on WHCR.org. So on April 30th for the International Jazz Day. You gonna be there, Jonas?
I should be there. Okay. I should be there. So many things are manifesting at the moment. So
Let's do that. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna have some herbal items out for the people as well, so y'all can come down and have a good time. But before the 30th, April 11th on Saturday, this Saturday, This is one bus ride over the bridge to Ridgefield, New Jersey, at a spot called Hemp and Honey. We will be celebrating 10 years of the People's Herbalist, and this is going to be from 3 to 7. It's going to be a tasting party. There's going to be sound healing. There's going to be the mocktail bar. There's going to be games and raffles, and it's totally free. So y'all make it out there. If you come from Harlem, make sure there's an Eventbrite. You can go on the peoplesherbalist.com and click at the top banner. Sign up for that Eventbrite. And when you get there, if you came from Harlem and say you heard it from WHCR 90.3 FM radio, you are going to get a free gift just for showing up and hearing from here on the radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first. This Saturday, April 11th, Danny is giving away a free item to the first person, not even first person, any person that's from Harlem that hears this and comes and says to him that they heard about his event on the radio. So y'all make sure y'all pull up Saturday, get your free gift, test out some sound therapy, man. You know, I'm interested in that. You know, that sound therapy, man. It's gonna be fun. It's for free, y'all. You know we like free. Pull up, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this Saturday, April 11th. And where's it gonna be at again, Danny?
It's going to be at Hemp and Honey in Ridgefield, New Jersey.
New Jersey, right over the bridge, y'all.
Right over the bridge. It's not a far trip at all. And for your troubles and your time from crossing that bridge, I know crossing that bridge be like, everybody don't want to do that. But for doing that, I'm gonna make sure y'all get something in return. So I appreciate the people that be listening, and I appreciate the people in Harlem that will make a trip out there. So I'm gonna take care of y'all for coming out and celebrating 10 years of the People's Herbalist with me. And it's been a journey of a lot of learning, a lot of connections, a lot of experience. And one of the experiences that really sit with me and to this day and will forever sit with me is watching people that I know and care about pass away from cancer. And that's the origin story for the People's Herbalist. Why I even decided to go down this rabbit hole to look at these traditional Chinese herbs, Ayurvedic herbs. Why did I do this? Was for my best friend's dad, Ray Valencia, R.I.P., and Adolph de Silva. So, Sylv and V. Their dads had passed away from cancer, but V's dad passed away more recent when I was an adult and had the opportunity to actually, ask questions. And once I saw some of these herbs that were used in other parts of the world, that's why I got into this and bringing this to America and our communities in a way that's easily absorbable and understandable. And it's been a lot of experience in learning and talking to people, right? Especially, I got another story. His name is Terrence. Terrence, I met in Long Island. He found me on Instagram before they deleted my, my first page. He reached out to me and told me that he was in the hospital and he had stage 4 lung cancer. And I was like, dang.
Wow.
I just asked him some questions. He happened to be 20 minutes away in Long Island Jewish Hospital. And I went to go see him. He was 20 minutes away. I'm pulling up. Went to see him. Energy was the highest. Dude was massive. He's a massive dude, 6'5". Right? So he's laying in the bed, and I saw him. He had one leg. So I asked him, was like, kind of what happened? Tell me your journey. He had a very rare cancer called synovial sarcoma that was in his knee.
Wow.
And his knee, he said, blew up almost like to a watermelon. He's a big dude, so he had a big leg.
Right.
So the doctors told them they had to amputate the leg. And by amputating the leg, that would get rid of the cancer.
Okay.
So, I walked in the hospital room. I see a massive dude with one leg and a massive prosthetic leg. The leg was like half my size, like it was brolic. And then, he's here laughing, telling jokes with his sisters. And he told me that he had this cancer that spread to his lungs. I'm like, wait, the doctors told you if you take the leg, it will be gone. He did. He took the leg, and then it spread to his lungs anyway. And watching him go through the process of chemotherapy because they said, his cancer was so rare and different, they had to do experimental chemo. And that's when I actually seen how damaging it was. Like I went to a chemo session with them. I saw the drip. I saw how they had people. It looked like a stadium with dividers, and people were just sitting in their own little room with just this drip in a halfway decent looking chair, but they're just sitting there, this drip going, and their life seemed like draining away. Right? It just looked really, really horrible from my perspective.
How does the in my mind, I think you sitting at this machine that burns you.
Well, that's radiation. That's the radiation, but the chemotherapy, it's chemical therapy. They put a whole bunch of chemicals and harsh drugs that if any person that's healthy takes, they could die. Right? There's poisons, but there's specific poisons designed to stop fast growing cells like tumors. So oftentimes they're very general, so they just attack everything. That's why people's hair fall out. That's why their skin just gets ashy and dry and brittle. Nails and everything happens bad because your skin, your nails, are fast growing cells. So they start to die off because of the chemicals that are in the chemotherapy. And all chemotherapy is not the same. They have different drug cocktails that they'll put together depending on where the cancer is and what kind of cancer it is and genetic testing. They have a science to it, no question. But the truth is, in layman's terms, that's poison, and it kills you. If you're unhealthy, it can kill you. If you are healthy, it can still kill you. So they try to monetize or minimize the amount of poison that they're giving people in a way that makes sense for them to then recover. But then, if you're not giving anybody anything to recover, like in the hospitals, they give you terrible food, how can you expect people to really get better? That's why taking your health into your own hands with herbal consumption is very important if you're dealing with any type of cancer diagnosis or any type of cancer treatment. Because the treatment is going to, for sure, hurt you, but it can save you if it's killing the tumor cells faster than it's killing your organs. So supporting your organs with some adaptogens like reishi, like chaga, like ashwagandha, like astragalus root, like jagulin, like cordyceps. These are all ways for people to be a little bit more in control over their healing capacity when you're going through one of these treatments. And I'm not saying never take these treatments because they do have their place. They have saved lives, especially surgery. But they are getting better at it. There's way better ways to go about this. One of them is Dr. Hadiya Nicole Brown. I'm sorry, Dr. Hadiya Nicole Green. She's a woman physicist. She came up with something called laser nanoparticle gold therapy or gold laser nanoparticle therapy, where they use nanoparticle gold to go in your body, and then they use a laser that only impacts the gold, and then it destroys the tumor without poisoning the body. Her research is still in the preliminary stages. They have to do human trials, and it costs $10 million for her to get FDA approval to do the human trials. I know she's already raised many millions, but still on the way to 10, so she can bring this therapy to people, which can be truly impactful and life saving and less damaging in a way for treating cancer. So shout out to Dr. Hadiya Nicole Green.
We're manifesting that money for you.
Yes, we are. Bringing that money right over to you, Dr. Green. Keep up the good work. Thank you for, look, we Black History, I didn't give her a shout out. Women History, I didn't give her a shout out because the woman cured cancer in mice. Right? It was 100% effective. All the tumors were gone after like 10 weeks of treatment, and there was no side effects. So it's stuff. It works. Levels. It was levels to it, and they want to give the barriers and obstacles, even though this should be fast tracked and brought to people immediately. You can't get this treatment because it hasn't been FDA approved. But that's another story for another day, man. I can't believe the hour's about to be done. I'm upset because we got more to talk about,
Yeah, man. 10 years.
10 years. We done made it, man. We done made it. I do want to give a quick PSA about Lyme disease because I heard this come up a lot of times, a lot of conversations about Lyme disease um, not being bit by ticks, Lone Star ticks. In fact, there's the specific ones that are the vectors of this Lyme disease, a specific bacteria they are claiming that causes Lyme disease, but that's in question by a lot of people as well. But
Really?
yeah, but the real reality is Lyme disease has been weaponized in ticks, and they did this. I know you're going to Long Island pretty soon, but at the tip of Long Island, there's a place called Plum Island. Plum Island, they had a biomedical research facility, and they were experimenting on ticks. So this is documented. This is facts. This is no speculation. Biomedical research facility, experimentations on ticks, Lone Star ticks, which were normally found below the Mason-Dixon line in the south. They had them up here, and they were testing these ticks outside, and somehow these ticks got off the island. And the first documented case of Lyme disease was in Lyme, Connecticut, which is right across the water. It's a ferry ride away.
Oh,
So this is, they say it's not proven that Lyme disease was created in a laboratory, but they were doing experiments, biomedical research on ticks. The first Lyme disease was found in Lyme, Connecticut. I mean, it don't take a conspiracy theorist or a rocket scientist to put those two things together. And now Pfizer is coming up with a vaccine for Lyme disease. So this was a potentially manufactured issue, and now they're coming up with a vaccine to. I don't know if it's supposed to stop. I don't know what they're claiming it's supposed to do,
wow.
but it's supposed to be a vaccine for Lyme disease. I'm not into it. I'm not going to take that. But to each their own, But if you're going to create a problem and then you create a solution, we got bigger problems. So I wanted to share that, but on a higher note, on a better note, there are solutions. There are things like microdosing psilocybin. There are things like using reishi mushroom for immune modulation. There are other things like andrographis, another herb that is, and Japanese knotweed is another herb. So if people are dealing with Lyme, you can go and find yourself some of these items. Some of the items can be found on the peoplesherbalist.com, but you don't always have to get it from me. You can find them and start using the herbs to help your body. But it's already 8 o'clock, man. I can't believe this hour goes by so fast. But man, any last words for the folks, Joe Black?
Yo, shout out to everybody that woke up today. Shout out to everybody that tuned in, gave us some energy. I love y'all. And may y'all manifest every single thing that y'all want. May everything that you want be clear to your mind. And may your mind attract and manifest every single thing that y'all want, man. And that's what I mean from my bottom of my heart.
I love it, man. So yeah, thank y'all. Honor your roots, protect your peace, connect with nature, and let nature guide your way. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace. Kind of stumbled at the end. That's what I mean.
Nah,
No,
you was straight.
It sound good though.
It did.
Oh look, we still
Yeah, appreciate y'all for tapping in with us on another episode of the People's Healing Hour, WHCR 90.3 Radio.
Shout out to everybody that tuned in this morning.
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
Damn. Oh, hold on.
This is the Joe Brown Community News Break on WHCR 90.3.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen.
Can't take us nowhere, man.
Click the X.
Expect clear skies, a high near 47 degrees, and a low around 30
What did it say,
degrees
N?
tonight.